I am Aligar Lingappa, Assistant Professor in Physics, Government Postgraduate College, Sirigappa. Today, I will discuss about the topic Fresnel and Fraunhofer diffraction. So, the chapter diffraction of light. So, what we know that the optical phenomenon, so-called diffraction, the phenomenon of bending of light around a sharp-edged obstacle is known as diffraction, which is based on the principle of superposition of waves. Usually we have two types of diffraction: Fresnel's diffraction, Fraunhofer's diffraction. Then what is Fresnel's diffraction? Then what is Fraunhofer's diffraction? What are the differences between Fresnel's and Fraunhofer diffractions? And so on. So then what is a Fresnel's diffraction? It is a type of diffraction in which both the source and screen are at finite distances from the obstacle. So in case of Fresnel's diffraction, where the diffraction pattern which obtained, where that means in which both the source and screen they are at finite distances. Similarly, in case of Fraunhofer's diffraction, it is a type of diffraction in which both the source and screen are at infinite distances from the obstacle. Here the Fresnel's diffraction which obtained due to the incident of a spherical or cylindrical wavefront. Here the Fraunhofer's diffraction which obtained due to the incident of plane wavefront. So then what are the differences between a Fresnel's diffraction and a Fraunhofer's diffraction? Fresnel's diffraction, it is a type of diffraction in which both source and a screen are at finite distances from the obstacle. In case of Fraunhofer's diffraction, it is a type of diffraction in which both the source and screen are at infinite distances from the source. In case of Fresnel's diffraction, cylindrical or spherical wavefronts are involved in this kind. Here a Fraunhofer diffraction which takes place due to the incident of a plane wavefronts. So that means the plane wavefronts are involved in this kind. Then the Fresnel's diffraction, in this case, lenses are not required to produce wavefronts and converge the wavefronts. Whereas in case of Fraunhofer diffraction, lenses are required to produce and converge wavefronts and wavelets. So two convex lenses they are used, they are required. One for to produce a plane wavefront, another one is for converged wavefronts. That means the third difference between Fresnel's diffraction and Fraunhofer diffraction. So in case of Fresnel's diffraction, so fourth case, diffraction should be observed only in the direction of source. But the Fraunhofer diffraction can be observed in different directions. So that means the fourth difference between Fresnel's diffraction and Fraunhofer's diffraction. So next one. In case of Fresnel's diffraction, a theoretical treatment is complex. That means the determination of intensity of the fringe, determination of fringe width. So, the determination of fringe width and intensity is very difficult. That means in case of Fresnel's diffraction. In case of Fraunhofer diffraction, so theoretical treatment is simple. So easily we can obtain the expression for a fringe width, the intensity, etc. In case of Fresnel's diffraction, the central portion of the diffraction pattern may be bright or dark. But in case of Fraunhofer's diffraction, the central portion of the diffraction pattern is bright. So that means the sixth difference between Fresnel's diffraction and Fraunhofer's diffraction. The phase of secondary wavelets originating in the plane of aperture are different. The phase of secondary wavelets originate in the plane of aperture is same. Here diffraction at a straight wire, it is a very good example for Fresnel's diffraction. Diffraction through a grating, so the example for Fraunhofer's diffraction. So these are the differences between Fresnel's diffraction and Fraunhofer's diffraction. So now we have discussed about Fraunhofer's diffraction through a single slit. So now you see the diagram. The diagram which consists of a slit, so slit, AB a diffraction slit, L1 and L2 there are two convex lenses, one used for producing plane wavefront, another one is used for converging the refracted rays, where W of that indicates a plane wavefront. Then what about the arrangement of the experiment? So the experimental arrangement which consists of source slit, which is placed at the focal plane of the convex lens L1. So then the obstacle, a sharp-edged obstacle which is placed in front of the convex lens L1. So further another converging lens or convex lens is placed in front of the obstacle, say L2. There is a screen which is placed, so-called observation screen, is placed in front of the converging lens L2. So when a light from the monochromatic source is, the diverging beam of light is made to pass through a convex lens L1, where source is placed at the principal focus of the convex lens L1. So then what about the light emerging from the convex lens L? They are refracted rays, so plane wavefront, the rays which are parallel to each other, so called we obtained parallel beam of light. So the parallel beam of light emerging from the convex lens L1 Here the parallel beam of light is nothing but the plane wavefront, so which can be represented by the W of, where W of that indicates plane wavefront. So further the plane wavefront is made to incident on the obstacle AB, then which undergoes diffraction. Then the diffracted beams are made to pass through the convex lens L2, which undergoes refraction. After the refraction, some of the refracted rays they will meet at a point C. Similarly, so let P be the another point on the screen where two refracted rays they will meet, such that the alternating bright and dark fringes which are obtained on the screen, where C is the central bright fringe, so called primary maximum, is surrounded by the alternating minima and maxima, secondary minima and secondary maxima. Let us consider one of the instantaneous point P, which is at a distance, some distance from the C. So the point B, is it a minima or a maxima, which depend on the path difference between the rays which are meeting at that point. So this is what about the experimental arrangement and how the fringe or fringes which are formed on the screen in case of Fraunhofer's diffraction through a single slit. So the arrangement consists of a narrow slit S dash illuminated by a monochromatic light is placed at the focal length of the convex lens L1. The rays emerging from the lens L1 are parallel, which represents a plane wavefront. This parallel beam undergoes diffraction through narrow slit AB. The diffracted beam is brought to focus on a screen using another convex lens, say second convex lens L2. Around the point C, there is a band of highest intensity called primary maximum. It is surrounded by the alternate secondary maxima and secondary minima of very few numbers. These are called diffraction bands or diffraction fringes. So description of diffraction pattern. First, there are only a few alternate bright and dark bands. So when compared to interference pattern, where here the diffraction pattern which consists only of few alternate bright and dark bands. The central band is very bright, say brightest band is known as primary maximum. The brightest of the band decreases outwards from the central maxima. The brightness of the bands goes on decreases outwards from the central maxima. So the central maxima is surrounded by the alternating bright and dark fringes. They are called secondary maxima and secondary minima. The dark bands are not perfectly dark, but they are called minima. All the bands are of unequal weight. So now you see the diagram, where the diagram which indicates the diffraction pattern which obtained in case of Fraunhofer diffraction through a single slit. So where the center which consists of a brightest fringe, so called primary maximum, is surrounded by the alternating bright and off fringes, so called they are secondary maximum and secondary minima. The width of the fringes goes on decreases outwards from the central maxima, so called all the bands are of unequal widths. The intensity of the fringes goes on decreases outwards from the central maxima. So as shown in the diagram. So this is what about the graphical representation of intensity of the diffraction pattern versus, say, distance from the center. So where the peak, so middle of the curve, that indicates the intensity is a maximum for primary maxima. Again the primary maxima is surrounded by the alternating bright and off fringes, where the intensity goes on decreases on either side of the central maxima, where lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, that means they indicates the distance of the position of the fringes from the central maxima towards positive, towards right or positive x-axis. Here minus lambda, minus 2 lambda, minus 3 lambda indicates the distances of the fringes, secondary fringes from the central maxima towards left or towards negative x-axis. So the graph which indicates that the variation of intensity and width of the diffraction of fringes in the diffraction pattern. So this diagram is also indicates the variation of intensity of light with respect to angular position. Just you see the diagram from the central maxima, the intensity goes on decreases on either side of the central maxima. So the graph which indicates that the variation of intensity of light, intensity of the fringes with the angular position. So in this class we have discussed about what is diffraction, what are the different types of diffraction, what is a Fresnel's diffraction, what is Fraunhofer diffraction, what are the differences between Fresnel's diffraction and Fraunhofer's diffraction. Then the Fraunhofer diffraction through a single slit, then the construction and the working of the arrangement. Then what about the diffraction pattern, the nature of the diffraction pattern obtained on the screen, what are the conditions for diffraction pattern, what are the characteristics of the diffraction pattern which are obtained on the screen. Then the graphical representation of variation of intensity with the wavelength, that means the positions of the fringes. Again the graphical representation of the intensity of the fringes with respect to angular positions and so on. Thank you.